Greetings, adventurers. Today we're excited to introduce you to a new story, Dark Dice, a horror podcast that blurs the line between actual play and audio drama, where the story is determined by the roll of the dice. 6 adventurers embark on a journey into the ruinous domain of the Nameless God. They will never be the same again. One of the players is not what they seem after a doppelganger, a creature that can assume the form and voice of whatever it kills, infiltrates the team. As the players are picked off and replaced one at a time, can they figure out who the monster is before it's too late? Can you? In addition to a full-blown fantasy soundtrack with over 30 live medieval instruments and a 40-person choir, sound effects further enhance the story. Here's a quick example of what that sounds like.
The shambler with the jar of liquid inside of him.
Soren Arkwright let loose an arrow that cracked the glass, passing through the spine of the creature. The shambler still managed to maintain its forward momentum, but stumbled as it eagerly tried to bite and swipe at Soren, landing near his feet. As Rowena struck the shambling creature near Soren, she shattered the canister in its stomach, sending its liquid contents spilling to the ground. With a rush of liquid, the small fetus fell too, twitching and moving toward Rowena.
I'm gonna punt you.
Rowena launched the fetus into the mouth of the mimic with a kick.
So if you dare, gamble your sanity and subscribe to Dark Dice however you listen to podcasts, or on Spotify. Dark Dice can also be streamed at darkdicepod.com.
I am Ashra Beckett, though you will address me as Ms. Beckett. I am the member of the Arcane Brotherhood in charge of the Howling Ravine encampment. I came to the Icewind Dale to oversee the excavation under the Reghead Glacier, to search for... well, I'm really not at liberty to say. The details of the Brotherhood's operations are strictly need to know, and you don't.
Icewind Dale Corrupted, on Mondays from 6 PM to 9 PM BST at twitch.tv/adventurerswanted.
Welcome everyone to Journey to the Obsidian Spire. If you're joining us for the first time for our twin Dark Sun campaigns, here's what you should know. The city of Balak is in a state of turmoil. Caesar Androponus, the sorcerer-king who has ruled the city for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, was stolen away by the yuan-ti, a race of shape-shifting snake people from the moon Guthay. 2 parties, allies of an organization known as the Veiled Alliance, set out from the city of Balak, one Veiled Alliance crew set sail on the Sea of Silt on a race to find the missing sorcerer-king, hoping to reach Caesar before the merchant house Tomblador's navy could rescue him for their own purposes. Meanwhile, another group set out on a caravan expedition across the desert to seek out a powerful oracle who might know a way to save Balak from its time of troubles. Today, several members of both groups of our adventurers will meet, not in the world of Athos, but on another plane of existence entirely, a place known only as the lands within the wind. It's there that we begin our story tonight, but before we do, I'd like to welcome everyone back to Dark Sun. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hey.
Good to be here.
Hi.
Hi. So I want to go around and just everybody briefly introduce themselves and who they're playing, anything you want to share about your character with anybody who might be watching tonight. And let's start with one of our guests from our other campaign, Tales from the Silt Expanse, Toby.
Hi, Don. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure being back. I've missed you all so much. I'm not going to tell you anything about my character because he's very secret. Other than he's called Rysar Praetor, ex-Praetor, well, it's debatable. Was a Praetor in Balak. He, him pronouns, as am I, Toby Osmond. And, yeah, likes a bit of a scheme now and then. That's about it. Present familiar is Castrecal. Those keeping track and count. I think we're up to number 5.
A dinosaur vulture. Yes. Cool.
The resemblance is uncanny.
It's really, really good. Let's go down to Michael. Michael, hello.
Hello, yeah. Michael Sinclair II. I'm playing Ambush Stranded, everyone's favorite mortal culture person or horticulture person. So that's Ebo. He's a wizard and very old half-elf man. He, him pronouns for both myself and Ebo. So that is us.
Yeah. Cool. Nothing else about Ebo that you need to worry about. Let's go to Sam.
Nothing at all.
Hi, I'm Sam DeLev, and I'm playing Gaius Acacius Merula, the noble inheritor to the House Akasha, and a little bit of a sneakster who may have seen one or two shenaniganations from one or, well, I suppose now 2 wizards. Naturally, they've committed no such mischief themselves, but at least they're still on their first familiar. So they've got that going for them, which is nice.
Fighting dog.
Also, welcome back. You never really left, Cord, because you produce all of our shows, and so you're always here with us. But welcome back to playing.
Kind of. Yeah. Hi. I'm very excited to be here in the Obsidian Spire set. It's really exciting. I'm excited to be here playing with Sam and Christina, and I've never played with Michael before, and I get to today, and I'm super excited for that.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, it's gonna be fun. I'm playing Kronqual today. He goes by he, him pronouns, and so do I. He is a psionic warrior. He has, I think the last time we've seen him with this crew is, right when, I guess, it hit the fan in Balak, and now people still are probably untrustworthy of him. So that's going to be fun. I'm excited to try to figure out how that's going to go. Back to you, Don.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It's going to be fun to have everybody back together again after all of their adventures across the world. Last but certainly not least, hello, Christina. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi.
I was trying to talk to the beat of the music and then it cut out. So,
oops.
Surprise. My name's Christina. I play Akasha. She, her pronouns. As do I go by. Words are escaping me right now. I'm not good with them. But yeah, she's an elven cleric bard, and she's on just this journey, man, trying to become Caesar, trying to keep it all together, trying to be the head of a household now. Apparently, she's just gonna have to take that over in addition to being Caesar. There's just a whole lot going on, and she got a mirror because she may have sold a secret about Rysar to get this mirror that I think is broken because last time she looked in it, she was an old lady. So, yeah, stuff happens.
Stuff does happen. All right, well, then let's begin our story tonight, and we'll begin where we left off last week. So for Akasha, Merula, and Ebo, you were in the fort of Calvis. This is the head central location for House Salaxa, and there they trade secrets instead of money. Some of you paid secrets, some of those secrets were true, and some of them were not true. And as you continue to explore the town before leaving the next day, there was a confrontation in the tower at the center. And there, Ebo, Dia, Merula, and Akasha came face to face with one of the head agents of House Salaxa, an old wizard defiler named Kargash. And during that fierce magical encounter, that battle, Dia's lantern that was sitting on the desk there in the tower was kicked off. She kicked it off. And as it did, it shattered, and a flaming hand escaped, and it grew like a wave. It washed past you. It didn't burn. It was actually cool to the skin. But as it washed past you, everything around you, the tower, the town, the people, began to fall away, began to turn into dust and ash. And that's where we begin tonight. Each of you alone in just a swirling, howling void of ash. And Ebo, let's start with you. So you were slinging spells with Kargash mere moments before this happened. Your daughter that you had connected with, Romalai, waiting in the outside of the tower for you to return. And you experience this, everything falling and changing to ash. You see a great many tentacled beast floating in the sky, not looking down at you, but its many eyes looking in all directions at the same time. You briefly see just a glimpse of a pyramid in the distance, and then more wind washes the ash past your vision. You can't see it anymore. It's just you and this howling wind.
So just me and the howling wind. I probably just call out like at the moment, because Ebo was just with his daughter, so he's probably gonna yell out like, Romula, Romula, where are you? He's just like searching everywhere to see if, just turning around. I know you said he's alone, but he's like worried about where she is because he just met up with her after a while.
Roll me perception check. I'll give you an arcana check. Either way.
Perception check. Or arcana. Okay. Bam, and arcana. Let's see if it rolled. I clicked it. Oh, there it goes. It's the same for both. Sweet. 21.
Nice. 21. There's that same sort of feeling, that dropping feeling in the pit of your stomach that happens whenever you experience defiling, whether or not you summon magic from within yourself or whether or not you faced a defiler who uses that type of magic against you. And as you spin around, you get the sense that everything around you is touched here, wherever this is, whatever's happening, everything around you is touched by a terrible amount of defiling magic. And you do see a shape there through the ash and the wind, a silhouette, thin, tall, reminds you of your daughter, holding a hand up, You see the hood blow off of her head and what might be the outline of a mask, maybe 20, 30 feet away.
Romuli, is that you?
I'll start to make my way towards them, but knowing that we kind of just got shifted over, I think I would want to rush towards my daughter, but also be cautious, because, like, I think Ebba would maybe know. I don't know if he would know, actually, just being kind of put into a different plane, like, things can get weird, but I don't know if Ebba would either know that, like, I don't know if it's an insight on himself or like insight on like the area or something of the sense, like having that gut feeling. So, but yeah, in either case, I'm going to run towards Romuli.
Okay, and you can roll me an insight check.
All right. So that is 23. Oh my gosh, who am I?
So on a 23, which is really great, then your dice has changed.
Yeah, it's all about practicing. Go ahead.
You're rushing towards the silhouette, and as you move out of there's light here, but there's no light source. It's just this ambient gray, and as you rush towards the silhouette, it gets darker and darker. You can still feel the ash and the wind against your face, but the silhouette vanishes. And with a 23 insight check, I think I can tell you that you saw her, but she isn't here. And a moment later, as you're in that darkness, you hear her voice. Father, Master, where did you go? Father.
Yes, I'm here. I'm right here. I don't know where we are, but if you hear my voice, try and head towards it. Maybe most of this is an illusion.
There's
that's
no response.
All right.
The howling gets louder.
That's okay. I'm going to. What would Emma do here? He has really nothing to go off of. Right. I don't know if I was able to see like any sort of landmarks. I think you mentioned that there was landmarks coming in. I don't know if my character saw that, like a pyramid, or something to the effect of. If there's any sort of landmarks, Ebba would make his way towards those things.
So back in the opposite direction of where you saw the silhouette, you saw for a few moments what looked like a distant pyramid. So you travel back in the other direction as you step away from where you saw the silhouette of maybe your daughter. You re-enter a lighter area. It's gray and it's still howling. There's still ash everywhere. It's gathering. I mean, it's there. It's real. It's gathering on your skin, on your clothes, in your hair. But you do see that pyramid again.
I'm going to get my the kind of like scarf hood that I have, and I'm going to put it over, like wrap it around so that like it protects most of my face, and I can probably still peer through it. And I'm probably holding out my hand and my staff like right in front of me, like trying to push against the wind. And I'm going to turn around one last time and say,
Romuli, if you see those pyramids, that's where I'm going. Please head there as well. I do not want to get lost here. It seems that our direction is quite difficult.
And I'm gonna turn around and just like make my way with staff and hand in front of my face and scarf up towards the pyramid.
All right. Roll me a survival check.
All right. Actually, let me see if I have something here. I get the ability. Don't. think so. Let me just see the. Okay, let's just roll. So that is a survival. So that is a 24. Cheesy Pete's. Okay. It's. I swear, it's all that Baldur's Gate I'm playing. I'm warming up.
So, with your hands out, your staff out, your clothes protecting as much as your face as it can, you push through the howling wind and the ash towards that distant landmark, the only one that you see. And as you get closer and closer, let's move now to Rysar and Toby. Rysar, the last time we saw you, not in this campaign, but in Tales from the Silt Expanse, you faced off against the yuan-ti and against House Tomblador Navy and soldiers on the top of an ancient red pyramid on the island of Schult. Caesar was there, and you attempted to murder Caesar before the yuan-ti could drag him through, or you attempted to get another character to murder Caesar.
I can neither confirm nor deny these allegations.
It's on YouTube, so it's real. So they dragged him through a portal. That portal disappeared. You managed to fend off the yuan-ti at the top of the pyramid and escape on the ship, the Sirocco, that you've sort of called home for the last month or so. And as the Sirocco, the ship that's capable of hovering above the ground, it's uses psionic power, this strange orb, to be able to fly in a way, takes off and begins to move away from the top of the pyramid, just like the others, but in another location. There was a shift, and the world went ashen all around you, and you saw through that gray ash the writhing tendrils of the silt horror that you've witnessed once before. And then those tendrils, too, turned to ash. Everything around you, and you see there with you Kronqual, and you see Gulag and Kita and Rickus, your crewmates. And as the storm picks up and the winds begin to howl, you can see the massive form of Gulag just sort of turn and hold a large hand over his eyes, and he just calls out, not looking at you, just calling out into the wind, "Hey, boss, Rysar." And then he too turns to ash.
Okay, and do I feel like this is a supernatural sort of illusion or mind state or waywalk or dream or something, or do I feel like it might just be a sandstorm and the vision is just really obscured?
So you've experienced traveling on the Sirocco through this sort of gray, ashen place once. At least while you were conscious. You experienced it a couple of times you were a statue. The last time you experienced it, you were awake, and it's how you got to Schult. It's how you got to the island, just what would have been probably 10 minutes ago for you. So you have experienced this once before, but this is different. Before, you stayed on the deck of the ship, and this time, it's not that you're floating. You can feel solid ground beneath your feet, but it's solid like sand. It's not solid like the wooden deck of the ship.
And do I feel the rope? Because I feel like I was clinging onto the rope as the ship was, the Sirocco was taking off. Has the rope gone?
Imagine the rope, the ship, the other crew members who are with you, they all just sort of disappear into the swirling ash. And you're not hanging on anymore. You're not hovering above the ground. You're standing.
Shit. Okay. I will look around me and see if I can see anything in the grey.
Roll me a perception check.
I assume I don't have there's not sand blowing against my face or anything like that, is there?
Ash. Not quite sand. More like ash.
Okay, I'm going to pull up my 20, dirty 20.
Nice.
I'm going to pull up my sort of like the elves in Balak. If they've spent time in the desert, and a lot of us are from the desert, then we've got these Muad'Dib breathing scarves, I think. So I'm pulling up my sort of scarf and lowering my shawl to try and keep the ash out my face, if it really is ash.
With a 20, what I'll say you see as you kind of look around is that you notice that there's spots that are darker than others in the distance. It's not that you see objects there or landmarks necessarily. It's that whatever ambient light, whatever gives light in this place that you're in right now, sometimes it's light enough that you can see the ash, you can see the space in front of you, but then there's these large pockets of just pure darkness. You can see a large pocket to your left and a large pocket to your right, another one in the distance ahead of you.
Do I feel like those, the large pockets that are closer to me, do they feel like they could be the silhouettes of humanoids or something bigger or
something larger, like a region, an entire area that's just dark?
Okay. I think I'm gonna maybe head towards, if I don't think any of them are my friends, I guess I'll start heading towards the closest one, or the largest one if there's no perspective.
Okay. It takes you several minutes to walk there, and you do have to walk here just as you would otherwise. And as you get closer to it, the sound of the howling, the whipping wind, it gets stronger, it gets colder, it gets ashier. You can see that it's like accumulating an inch on your hand. It's accumulating on your clothes like a heavy snow, but gray. And roll me an Arcana check.
You know, Dom, I was actually looking at my character sheet because despite the power plays I take part in, I'm not much of a power player. And I realised my Arcana check is the best thing on my character sheet. Oh, it's 27. Point proven. So I was hoping I'd get to use my Arcana, which I just did. So there we go. What's going on?
So you kind of have you're kind of putting things together as you go along. With a 27, I'll allow you to ask me, I pretty much do this anytime we get above a 25. Allow you to ask me 2 questions about what's going on or where you are, and we can say that these are questions that Rysar either is able to intuit or that he's actually studied enough to know these answers.
Okay, so I think my first thought would be, is this something to do with the way? So is it some kind of way walk or psionic journey to a sonic plane or between places? And then my second thought would go to my time looking through Caesar Androponis's library and thinking, is this something to do with places that I want to go or to other worlds, or something I might have discovered in his arcane library?
So you're positive that it's not a way walk. This isn't happening in your mind. Your body is your body. You're here. Although here is certainly not Athos. I think you're aware of that. Not in the same sense. And what I'll say for your second question is that when you broke into Caesar Androponis's library to look for information on this sort of prophecy that Rysar believes in the green place that he's seeking, you found a number of locations noted in the world that were of interest You learned about the Moon Guthay, and how there's doors that open between the moon and Athos at different times before they shut again. You also learned about a place called the Lands Within the Wind, and this is a parallel world that overlaps your world, and it mirrors it in a lot of ways. It more beautiful, more lush than Athos has been in a long time, but that the druids who are capable of traveling between our plane and that plane, that are scholars, have reported over the years that more and more the lands within the wind are being more ravished, that they're more desolate than even Athos, that the defiling magic that impacts Athos also impacts this mirror world. So when a defiler casts spells and they drain the world of its life to do so, they're also draining the life from this alternate plane, and it turns it into this dark, ashen place. It just leaves nothing behind, and nothing can grow there. There's civilizations that once lived in this plane and maybe still do, terrifying creatures as well. And I'd say that you're aware from your studies that that seems like where you are right now. One of those places.
Yay. Can I try to do two things? The first thing I'd like to try is to see if I can sense my familiar, which I don't think I'll be able to, but I'm going to try.
We'll say, I'm going to say that you're, this is tricky. I'm going to say that your
Probably got
familiar
left
came
behind.
with you.
Oh, I get really attached to my familiars, as you know, Don. So,
no,
excellent.
Say that it came with you. Yeah,
good. I want to call the little.
You can hear it like over the wind.
Get down
You
here.
hear it screeching overhead, and it flies down towards your arm to like hook onto your arm if you'll allow it. But it's fighting against the wind to do so. And the closer you get to this darkness, the stronger the wind gets, and the colder it gets. Freezing temperatures are not common in Athos, so it's probably a little bit of a shock.
Yeah. I mean, elves of Athos are actually well suited to extremes in temperature, but like you said, I guess maybe in a desert night, maybe it would get really cold, but it's a lot less common than really hot. I would like to then attempt to use. Can you use like for sort of roleplay purposes or whatever? Can you use defiling magic in cantrips? Or is it only in first and above level spells?
Mechanically, it's in first or above level spells, but essentially, all arcane magic is defiling magic. Even preservation magic is defiling magic. It just manipulates the interaction so that it's less harmful.
Do I know that preservation magic is also defiling magic? Because I don't know much.
I don't think so. No, because that's something you've only learned about more recently. Yeah.
Good. I would like to try to use preservation magic to cast prestidigitation. No one knows. No one knows. I would like to cast that one.
What are you trying to do?
Clean all this ash off me.
Yeah.
But I'm casting it because I want to try and see what happens when I use nice magic in this plane.
Roll me an intelligence saving throw.
My skin falls off. Right. Intelligence. I'm a wizard. This should be fine, right?
I don't think anybody's rolled less than a 20 yet so far, so.
Don't say that just as I'm rolling the dice. It's not roll. I'm just going to roll a d20.
Okay.
Oh, that's not great. That's 12. Oh, no, sorry, plus another 3. So 15, actually. 15. Now 7 on the dice.
15. There's no, in this area, especially so close, there's no life here to draw from except for your own. So you do have this sort of nauseous feeling because you're the only source that you can draw from here. But you are able to at least momentarily push the dust off of you and create this little vacuum where you're almost like you're in a bubble. And the dust is whipping around the bubble. It starts getting wilder and wilder and wilder. And that darkness that's ahead of you shoots outward, washes over you like the darkness spell. And it's even colder here, sub-zero temperatures in a moment. You can still hear the howling. You can feel the ash again.
I'm going to sort of try to retreat a bit. I want to huddle down a bit, and I want to get my familiar sort of in this huddle as well, and I want to start sort of backing off slowly and like looking around, because I don't like being in really cold magical darkness at all.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
That's not my saving throw, Don. Let's just be honest. Can you see what I rolled in roll 20?
I can see it.
It's a 0.
It's a 0. It is a 0.
Have I just died? That's like all the death saving throws as well.
No. But this is going to be a level of exhaustion that you can mark on your character sheet. So you try to pull back out of the darkness, and you're huddling up to your familiar, and the winds are howling more and more. And as it starts to finally get lighter once again, you start to find the edge of where that dark region is. I'm going to move over now to Akasha. So Akasha, just like the others, you were just on the outside of the tower. That explosion of light and cold fire washed over you. Everything turned to ash around you. The howling wind picks up. What's Akasha do?
Oh, I don't think I like this. Hello?
You don't.
Hello?
You can see the walls of the tower turn to ash and just sort of blow off into the wind with the rest of the ash. You see just for a moment that distant pyramid silhouette. You see a writhing tendril and then another up above you just sort of floating past. You don't see your allies. You don't see the people you came here with.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Is anybody out there? Just
roll me a perception check.
Sit. Let's see. Oh, I didn't have the modifier. 12.
You hear a faint voice from somewhere behind you in the wind. Akasha? Akasha?
Grandfather?
Sounded far away.
Grandfather, can you hear me? I'm going to start trying to move around and see if I can get to where the voice was coming from.
Akasha, as you're moving, your little container that you keep with you, you can feel a vibration. It's like it's shaking. Something inside of it shaking as you move through the wind, and you, just like with the others, ash is beginning to accumulate on your skin. It's stinging your eyes.
Grandfather, keep speaking loudly so I can walk to your voice. Can you hear me?
Akasha, where are you?
Just follow my voice. I'm trying to follow yours. I'm almost there.
Feel that shaking again, more violently this time. Your pouch.
Gonna take the mirror out.
When you look into the mirror, that older human woman is looking back at you wearing torn, ragged traveler's clothes, leaning on a staff. They appear to also be in this sort of ashen place. You can barely see them through the ash, but they're staring at you meaningfully, like they're trying to say something to you. You can see it in their eyes.
Who are you?
Roll me an insight check.
15.
There's something very, very familiar about them. It's like an old memory, one that you can't really place, but it's been there for a long time. Like there's somebody important to you, but you can't remember how or why. And they reach out. It's like their hand is touching the plane of the mirror.
It's just a dream. It's all just a dream. It's a dream. It's a dream. It's a dream.
Do you reach out and touch the mirror as well?
I reached out and touched the mirror, while also
Roll me
reminding myself.
that it's not real. A charisma saving throw.
Dirty 20.
So I'll let you choose here. Which side of the mirror is Akasha on? This entity seeks to change sides. But Akasha is strong enough here in this moment that she could resist.
I think she'll go into the mirror.
There's this strange sort of feeling as she does. You see everything around you the same way, the ash, but you don't feel the wind. You don't hear the wind. You still see almost like a large, now, not a mirror, but a portal ahead of you with a glass plane, this sort of reflective plane. The woman withdraws her hand and she just nods to you very slowly. And Akasha, as Legerre takes over Akasha's body, Akasha hears her grandfather just once. It's all up to you now, my dear, dear girl.
Really? What exactly is it that you expect, old man?
Legerre, I think you recognize this plane. You know the lands within the wind, this parallel world that sits on top of Athos. You know that that's where you are right now. When Akasha's grandfather doesn't answer you, you would know too immediately that he's not in this plane. He's still back in Fort Calvis. His voice like an echo.
I want to take the mirror and place it back inside the bag.
I think, Legerre, you can see Akasha's face in the mirror watching you until it goes back inside the bag. And then you're here, the howling winds, the ash. And you see in the distance outline of a pyramid. You see dark places, these dark regions all around.
Time to have some fun. She's going to make her way towards the pyramids.
All right. Roll me a survival check.
Okay. 23.
Killing it. So as you confidently move off in the direction of the pyramid, having a pretty good sense of how this world works, we're going to move now to Merula. Merula, you were inside the Bone Tower, fighting Kargash, sneaking in, stabbing, moving back, sneaking in, stabbing. You were very close to Dia when Dia kicked over the lantern. You saw Ebo use magic, and you saw that flaming hand rise up and wash over you and then spill outward towards the door. Everything turns to ash. The walls begin to crumble and turn to ash too. What does Merula do?
Tries to hide.
I won't make you make a check for that. But what? So imagine that as the walls fall away, you see in the distance this sort of outline of this pyramid. You see that strange monstrous shape floating overhead. You see these dark regions and then swirling ash, piles of ash in places, almost like dunes, but not as large as dunes, just piles. Where would Merula go to hide?
Toward the tallest thing they can see, I suppose. Maybe there will be something along the way. There's nothing here, and here doesn't make sense. And it's not okay. And none of this is okay. And it's not even slightly fine. They've given up on fine. Is Corey here?
I was just about to say, just like with Toby, Quarry is here. You can see Quarry flapping hard against the wind, and Blackbird's not as strong of a flyer, not as large and powerful as a bird, as like a Streckle, like really, really struggling, bouncing around in the wind up above you.
I call Corey down to me and tuck them away in my robes against the wind, because I actually care for my familiars. But as I call them down, is there anything I can see from the vantage point?
Roll me a perception check.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's really very little I can see from the vantage point.
You do get like the overhead view of the same thing that Merula can see. You get and what you would know is that these dark regions that Merula can see stretching out in front of them in different places, from up above, they're still dark. It's not like you can look down into them. It's all the way up, as high up as this place goes. Just a pillar of darkness. Many of them.
Have I ever heard of anything like this at all? I haven't had an extensive education of any forbidden things, but I've heard a thing or two.
Yeah, you could roll me history or arcana.
Alright. That'll get me to a 14.
There are some very esoteric and strange scholars who write about other worlds, but most proper scholars, the sorts that House Akasha provides literature from, would say that's just fantasy or madness. That obviously there's just one world. But you're aware that there are theories that there are other worlds out there, and you've had some experiences yourself.
Well, it wouldn't do for things to be weird or impossible. That simply couldn't be. Well, I suppose it can. So I want to just try to move forward. Try to get somewhere. Merriman, I suppose?
Roll me an arcana check. Let's call it.
Oh, you did much better. 21.
Okay. You feel as you're traveling through this howling wind, staying in the direction of the light, if you're moving towards the tallest thing around here, that would be that pyramid in the distance. As you're moving in that direction, you sense sort of tickle. It's that defiling tickle, like magic is happening, and you sense a presence directly behind you.
I grab my blades. And I will move forward until I get to one of these piles of ash, and then I'm going to duck to circle around one and see if I can circle to spot the source that was behind me.
Roll me a stealth check.
Pleasure. 1,000,000.
1,000,000.
Yes, it's a very
Cool.
large number.
So
That rounds up.
you slowly carefully move around using sort of the howling and the winds and the ash to get around this pile and circle back. And as you do, you can see a teenage boy pushing through the wind, hands out in front of him, staring outward, looking around like he's lost something. You recognize from side behind vantage point Van.
Well, I'm going to get him and I'm going to scoop him up right away, aren't I? I just put my arm around him because apparently he's not doing very well at seeing things properly and moving along. You know where we are. Why are you here? I'm glad you're okay. Hello. What are you doing? Hi.
He turns around after being frightened for a second, trying to push away from you for a second, and then he wraps his arms around you and he says, Merula, what's happening? Where did you go?
I was really hoping you knew. I don't know where we are. I don't know what this is. But you're going to be fine. I'm going to take care of everything. You don't have to worry. Just stick with me. And Corey. And Corey pokes out a little head and
Hi, Corey. Merula. I don't feel so good. I feel strange. I don't understand.
Strange, like how, Van? Like defiling?
Something's pulling me.
No. Nothing's pulling you. You're staying right here. Is this defiling energy ongoing in a way that my bracelet can activate against it? Like, I know that requires a caster rather than an ongoing magical effect, but also, I don't know. It's a touch wibbly here. Is there a wibble?
No, I like wibbles. I'm a fan of wibbles. So
I won't quibble with one.
Yeah, we can make a roll here, and what we'll do is I'll roll for Van. Let me pull up. I have his character sheet here. And
Good stats.
They're okay. They're pretty good. Okay. Call this a DC 16. So for a second, he looks queasy, and one of his arms that's around you, it begins to turn to ash. It begins to wash away into the wind. And as you activate the magic on your bracelet, he grips onto the bracelet too. And he begins tracing his fingers along the outside of the bracelet in that same pattern of the spell. And as the two of you work together, you can see him sweating, and then that ashen arm slowly reforms, and he's exhausted, panting, out of breath. Where are we?
Somewhere else. Maybe another... somewhere. But you're fine, see? You're fine. You're okay. Uh, let's keep moving a ways, and maybe we can find a place for you to rest. You poor dear. You're sweating.
I think I'd like that.
All right, let's go.
Can you help me?
Now. Always.
He gives a weak smile, but there's a twinkle in his eyes. As he starts to move, though, you can tell that he's very weak after whatever happened to him. And he has to lean on you quite heavily as you're moving through the wind. And he just sort of leans over as you start off, and he says, "Oh, I wasn't going to lose you."
That's right. You would be in terrible trouble with me if you ever even tried it. You wouldn't
I
like
would
me
hate
when
to
I'm
be on your
cross,
bad
you know.
side. I know.
You don't even have a
All
bad
right.
side, do you?
He smiles a little bit, but his eyes go distant. Without making an insight check, you get the sense that there's some lingering guilt there that he doesn't speak about. He looks off in the distance towards the pyramid, and he says, "Is that where we're going?"
Yes. It might be the same one I saw in my dream. I guess we'll find out. You'll see it for yourself.
Yes, I will.
It'll be an adventure.
Thank you.
Of course.
He coughs a little bit into the wind, and you continue to move on, getting closer to the pyramid. As the two of you travel through this land, through this place, let's move now to Kronqual. Kronqual. Things are a little bit different for you. A series of events that bring you to this adventure tonight than for the others. Kronqual, what's the last thing you remember from your journey through the lands within the wind?
Last thing I remember with lands within the wind. Not where I was moments before this.
Yes.
But if I remember fighting a large creature, large one that was in the mouth of a large tentacled monster, darkness, if you will, blackness is what I remember. That is what I remember. But I do remember being freed. Then it gets foggy. Very foggy. How did I get here? Where am I? This seems like the place I was before. That pyramid always been there. There is Sirocco.
He tries to take in his surroundings.
You're not on the Sirocco anymore, though you were just moments ago. This ashen plain, this one that you've been in, traveling through on the Sirocco, where you fought the beast. The ash grows darker and colder all around you.
Do I see anybody else?
Not currently. You don't see the pyramid anymore. You don't see the Sirocco. Just a veil, a darkening veil.
I think he starts to sink his head into his shell, at least as much as he can without going all the way in. He looks up, hoping to see the familiar belly of a ship. And he closes his eyes and opens them as he tries to just sift through the way to his mind to try to gain any sort of information about where he is.
As you close your eyes and go within yourself, within your mind, psionics, much of it's about creating a safe place, a fortress within your mind that you can act from. What is the fortress that Kronqual creates for himself? What's the safe place that he creates for himself?
I believe it is a hole in the ground, but to anyone on the outside it would be a hole. But within it is a domed fortress laden with eggs stuck to the side of the silt and the sand, about the size of a large cannonball, or maybe a modern-day beach ball, but it's a large egg, and those are stuck throughout, and caked on the silted walls are inscriptions written in my native tongue, and there is a tapestry that blows in the wind outside of the hole above, and a walkway patterned perfectly that goes up and winds around and out. That hole, that skylight, the entrance to my solitude.
Roll me an insight check.
All right. Let me get my character sheet open, because I am what you would call professional. Very well.
Ooh, hoo-hoo, 18. I thought I was going to be the one to break it.
18.
All right. As you create the fortress within your mind so that you can extend your psionics outward, your senses outward, you sense several slithering forms within your mind, snakes, winding between those eggs in the nest, in the hole. And I think you would recognize this as some attempt to a psionic attempt to enter unseen into your mind.
Yes. Inside my solitude within the way, am I present or am I the fortress?
You can be either. You can choose to be present, or you can choose to be the fortress.
Very well. In this case, I am the fortress. I believe what happens, maybe the hole above within the fortress, maybe a call rings out and echoes from above, and dust or silt trickles from that hole as maybe we notice that there is a large feathered creature, mottled, not quite feathery as its kin, but a mottled bird looks down within, looking maybe for some prey, a slithery snack.
All right. Make me a power check, which for you is going to be 1d20 plus your proficiency plus your intelligence modifier.
Okie dokie. 18. 14 on the die. 3 and 1.
All right. So this creation, this protection, this bird of prey swoops down, patches up the slithering snakes, which begin to grow and wrap around it, but it pins them to the bottom of that hole. And you can see one of the snakes, whereas before it had a serpentine head, its head begins to become more humanoid. Its fangs remain, but its head, as it grows, becomes more humanoid. And then the bird snatches it and swallows the creature whole. And you feel like you've successfully defended yourself from an invasion.
Nice. All right.
I think he opens his eyes as he kind of comes back to reality. And the color that was in his mind in the fortress, I guess, fades away as he opens up from the blackness and sees the desaturated silt land that is around. And he starts to assess, try to find where that attack could have been coming from.
Kronqual, when you open your eyes and look around you, the ash, it's no longer howling, it's no longer whipping around you. It's falling away, and the desaturation gives way to saturation. You find yourself inside a stone chamber, 40 feet by 80 feet, a very tall domed ceiling, held aloft by 4 tall obsidian pillars. And a large obsidian door stands behind you, a wide door, wide enough for a giant to squeeze through if they wanted. The walls in this chamber are adorned by 4 flickering yellow torches and strange painted murals and hieroglyphs. There's the depiction of 2 intertwined snakes, their heads facing each other, painted onto the crimson floor. At the end of the chamber, a statue made of some strange metal, glinting in the torchlight. Statue of a great snake coiling around itself. The statue's eyes glow and pulse with the bright crimson light that fills the chamber.
Am I alone in this chamber?
You don't feel alone. You see on the chamber floor 5 piles of ash. Set into different places.
And there's a metallic coiled snake in front of me with red eyes, you said?
A statue with glowing red eyes.
Statue.
I will. Hello?
It kind of rings out.
Your voice bounces off of the walls, Kronqual. The 5 piles of ash kick up into the air and they swirl like a cyclone. As they sort of settle back down, the ash fades away. Ebo, Rysar, Akasha, Legerre, Merula, and Van all appear in this chamber. And it's just as I've described before. It's a stone chamber with 4 flickering torches, 2 coiled snakes facing each other painted onto the ground, a wide door made out of obsidian at one end of the room, and at the other end of the room, this large statue, metal statue of a snake with glowing red eyes. And Kronqual is there too, and you are all with each other.
Oh, Rysar, Merula, Akasha. Oh, I'm sorry, I do not know who you are. I am Kronqual. Kronqual is I.
I'm Ebo. Hello. I know Merula and Akasha. Yes, sir. Who are you?
And I'm like looking at Rysar.
Rysar's in a total state. He's sort of like just coming to his senses really from the freezing experience he's just had, and sort of coming to his feet, and is pretty convinced that this is some sort of hallucination or illusion. He's sort of brushing frost and dust off himself. Looks Merula, Lady Akasha, Kronqual.
Yes, excuse me.
As he like kind of excuses himself from Ebo, and then he has his arms extended as he starts walking towards, I guess, the middle distance between Merula and Akasha, and waiting for one to react so he can then hug them.
I get Van behind me.
Is Van in the room?
Behind me.
Yeah, Van's there.
Right.
Behind Merula.
Ebo.
Yes.
Praise Oroathemir. Pleasure.
Oh, pleasure's mine. Thank you.
Experator, isn't it?
Well, who knows? Titles don't really leave you until you're voted out, I suppose. Speaking of which, how are you, Lady Akasha? Well, how is our fair city? Dom, I want to do like an insight check to see if I think these people are illusions, because I think they are.
Yeah, this is a thing. You've seen a lot of illusions recently. Yeah, roll me an insight check.
I think during this
I
roll,
hope I get a 1.
I think during this roll, Kronqual sees Merula is very defensive, and he then chimes,
Oh, I did not kill Caesar. And please believe me.
Dirty 20. John.
They're real, and what's more is that your realization that you are here, that you had your kind of understanding of where you are. You understand that this is part of that. This is just, there are places within the lands within the wind that aren't entirely ash, remnants of the world that used to be here before.
Well, it is so good to see you all. Anyone know why we're here?
No idea. Well, actually, I believe, at least for, Akasha and Merula, that, we had a quarrel with someone, and, it seems that, one of our party members, had a lamp that took us here. That's the only thing I remember.
Quarrel? Wasn't a
Charming.
dinner party involved, was there?
Who involved? Who?
What?
who you were saying we had a quarrel with? You were suggesting someone?
No, I believe you said there was a quarrel, did you not?
Yes, I do not know his name, because, but, I just know that, he had one of our friends, looks like he was, torturing her, they had a fight.
No.
Kronqual is
How do you think you
back and
got
forth.
here?
Well, do you understand where we are? This world, this dimension.
Presently, I was here. This moment, this location, I believe, could be my doing. I was in some sort of grey, ashen plane, and then I went into my fortress, and it was there where I saw two serpents within. I was able to repel them, but when I opened my eyes, I saw the two serpents here.
Kind of backs up and like reveals the two intertwined snakes on the tile.
I'm sorry if it was me that brought you here.
It kind of hangs a little bit lower.
May I insight check him? He said a lot of things and seems very sincere, and I would like to have the dice see whether or not the dice credit me with that.
Absolutely.
Either way, it's
Please
excellent.
do.
Wonderful. Oh.
Oh no.
That's always a good sound. That would be an 8.
Better than 0.
Did you know you killed? Yes.
Yeah, so he seems very sincere, but Merula, you don't know about this place, and there's something that he says that doesn't really make sense. How would Kronqual bring you here? That's a question mark.
I don't know, with his Caesar killing powers, maybe?
Thanks, Merula. Lady Akasha, I must beg of your indulgence to me. How does our fair city?
We haven't been
You said
there.
that Akasha or that Legerre knows of this area, Don.
Knows of,
So
yeah, specifically like the lands within the wind, like this spot, this place you're in right now, not specifically, but this world, this alternate plane, yes.
I'm not interested in this conversation, and I'm just gonna walk away from Rysar.
So do you go? There's a door, a large stone door. It's not locked. And then there's on the other end of the chamber, there's this coiling metal statue of a snake.
A coiling metal statue of a snake where, say, if I were to pull one of the heads, a mysterious door would open or something of the sort? Or should I go for the door? This is
Sign of the silver monkey.
My age. How old I am.
Listen, I'm just trying to get past the Rysar confrontation Les Mis moment I'm having in my head where it's just like, Rysar, at last we see each other play. But I would like to go through the door.
Legerre, when you push the door open, and it swings open. Ash from outside washes in. It doesn't wash all the way into the chamber, but right up into your face. You can hear the howling winds again, and it's just an endless plain of blackness out there, confirming that you're at least still in the same location, just within a little pocket of it where there's color and light. You can go out there if you want.
No, I'm very annoyed by the dust in my face, so I'm going to close the door back, turn around, and go fiddle around with the snake.
Okay. Meanwhile, was Merula going to ask something as well? No?
Merula said, we haven't been there in a while. We're trying to save the city from without. We're on a mission of diplomatic aid. It is distinct, one might note, from abandoning the city altogether in the dead of night like some kind of criminal.
Yes, absolutely. Why? Who did that?
Oh, we did that, remember? Rysar, we were the ones who I think they're referring to.
Oh, certainly
But
not.
that would be because of that's what True.
And he kind of like starts to catch himself. Ooh.
Oh, interesting you consider that abandoning the city, Kronqual, when I was trying to save your tortillion hide. Should I say shell? Not really sure.
You could say shell. Both would
Shell.
apply.
Yes, of course, returning the favor. You've saved my elven hide on more than one occasion, and I appreciate it very much. But I'm sure Lix Merula wasn't referring to us. She was talking of criminals and abandonment and the night.
Right. But maybe.
Can Ebo, like, check? Ebo doesn't know what's going on. He's just trying to, like, ascertain, like, these people seem like they have history, and, like, I'm just trying to, like, get a general feel of what's going on, because if I fail this, like, he's probably going to say something dumb. I don't know.
Yeah, you're having that Timon moment where Simba meets Nala. What's going on?
Roll me an insight check, Ebo, and here's what we'll do. A 10, you can ask one question about the nature of the relationship between these people. A 15, you can ask 2. A 20, you can ask 3.
Sure.
Nice.
All right. Where is my
And
dice
a 1,
roller?
everything is fine.
Yeah, everything's great. These people love each other, for sure.
That's right.
Oh my god, okay, it's just hot fire. Hot fire tonight. 25.
Wow. Oh, is that a natural 20?
Yeah, natural 20.
Natural 20.
Natural
Hey,
25.
Perfect, I love it.
I'll give
sent
you
you my
4
background
questions.
Okay.
4 questions about the nature of the relationship between certain individuals, based on what you've seen so far. So this doesn't like make you omniscient or anything like that, but you can get more.
So I have to ask the party questions, or I get to ask you as a DM questions?
You can ask me, and I can pass it to party, or we can all answer collectively. It doesn't matter.
Oh, sure. Okay, here we go. Why does Akasha dislike Rysar so strongly? That's what I'll say. That's how I'll say that. Let's see. What did Kronqual appear to do, or did do with Caesar, the former Caesar? Let's see. What else do we have going on here?
Let's answer those 2 first.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, is there a tell, Christina, about Legerre, Akasha not liking Rysar, and any indication as to why that might be that Ebo would pick up? What's that vibe?
Ooh. No matter which way you slice it, Legerre or Akasha, they both think Rysar is terrible, just in general. But history-wise, even though he will deny it, while they were both in school, Rysar and Akasha dated, but he lied about it and said that they did not, and continues to this day to deny it virulently. And vehemently, and he's just awful. And so she does spiteful things to him because it's just become fun at this point.
So very old negative feelings there. As far as Akasha goes in regards to Rysar, you recognize.
Pretty sure he's got
kind of
bodies in his basement too.
That's a fact.
100%.
Second question to Kronqual. So how did you word that question to Kronqual, Michael?
What did
Kronqual
do?
Yeah.
What did Kronqual do?
Yeah, Kronqual. At least you would probably have heard this, probably from the bard's lips on
to
Violet.
interrupt.
What?
My question actually should be better suited this way. What did it seem that Merula perceived Kronqual did? Because I know that she said you killed Caesar, but like people say big things all the time.
Right.
And I guess in this world that could happen too. So is there a grain of truth to that, or is she like firmly believe that, or is it like a joke?
Okay.
That's kind of what Ebba would try and ask or ascertain.
I will let them answer that. That makes more sense.
Yes. So what you could get while being here is that Merula seems conflicted about Kronqual and seems very certain that the literal thing that they're saying is true, but you certainly with that role also get the sense that they want to find a way to trust him, like there was some sort of complication to the situation, or that they don't want to believe that the person in front of them did the thing that they seem very certain that he did.
Okay, so they're Merula. They want to disbelieve what they think happened.
Yes, but they're also very literal about the he killed Caesar thing. This does not seem hyperbolic.
Perfect. I think I only have those two questions because, like, that's the only things Ebba would kind of pick up at that moment. Like,
You sure you don't
hey,
want to ask
Akasha,
more things about Rysar so we can give rude answers?
You could ask more questions about Rysar. You could ask questions with a 25 insight. You could ask an insight into this place, this room. When you roll a natural 20, I want to make sure you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one thing I'll do: one Rysar, one room. Rysar, how? Because he said he's a former ex-praetor. I would believe that praetors have a certain like je ne sais quoi, if I said that correctly, or some way of being about them. Like they have just like some aura, some sort of thing they give off if they're like still actively, even though they're former praetors, still actively doing as praetors or embodying like some of that vibe.
Corruption.
Arrogance?
Yeah, but like how much does it seem like they give off those vibes of like, I'm still actively effing things up? Like, I don't know.
He's got big, arrogant asshole energy.
Sure, yeah.
Do you mean if you're asking if Rysar is giving off the persona or aura of a praetor, then yes, potentially. I'm wearing praetor robes, although they're pretty rugged at the moment. I have a certain in fact, from when we all appeared, when I appeared, I was kind of cowering in a heap and shivering, and then just straight away I got up and pretending everything was fine, much like a praetor would. So I'd say, yeah, I'm giving off that aura.
Little dangerous. Okay, that's what Ebba would perceive. Like, stay on guard. Cool. And then the room, do those eyes seem to like trigger anything door-wise? Like, does it seem like, being someone who uses magic, would I interpret, hey, this statue in the middle, is this like an access? Do we need to interact with this to continue forth? Because obviously we still all know that we're stuck. Everyone knows that we're stuck in this place and would like to get out of here.
Ebo right as Akasha walks over to the statue, maybe like starting to, about ready to fiddle with it, reach out to it, you get a strong sense that the statue itself, the glowing eyes, it's not magic. And if it's not magic, then it could be psionics, it could be elemental in nature.
Okay. Cool. Yep, that's all the things I gather. Like, just in this eye, you see Ebba. Just in this moment, you see Ebba's eyes just darting everywhere, like, kind of just trying to figure out the whole room and figure out this how everyone's interacting. That's it. That's it for Ebba. Like, that's all he kind of wanted to do in that.
No, I love it. Akasha, Legerre, as you go over to the statue, what are you trying to do here? What's your aim?
I really just want to investigate and see if perhaps it opens up, or it's a secret door, or a secret tunnel, or a secret drop space, or something secret.
Roll me
So I wanna-
an investigation check.
Dirty 20.
Ooh, nice.
Wow.
So describe how you'd go about investigating, and I'll allow you to ask me 2 questions.
Is there a slight hinge at the mouth of the snake?
It seems to be all made of... It is open, but there's no hinge that you see. It seems to be all made of one large metal piece. The amount of time that it would have taken to create something like this, the amount of metal, is otherworldly. It's unusual. The only time you would have seen this much metal in one place, in one piece, is when you saw that Crimson Pyramid in your dream with Merula and Kronqual.
And as far as a base, is it resting on something, or is it just the design of these two things interwoven, like freestanding?
It is crafted into a square raised dais made out of obsidian. And though there's no obvious, like, pull this tooth and this thing's going to open up, you do get the sense as you're this close to it that it is made to interact with. Possibly triggered by touch or by thought. You're not sure.
So I want to reach out and pet the snake. Say, you're beautiful, aren't you?
As Akasha reaches out and pets the snake, and the rest of you are having this conversation, and Ebo, your eyes are darting all around. Ebo, you feel just your stomach drop. As you see Akasha reach out and pet the snake, you realize a moment too late that that wasn't a good idea. And those 2 red eyes begin to glow brighter and brighter and brighter. They wash over you. They become blinding to you for a second, Akasha. And materializing out of that light, 2 large, writhing forms, 2 snake creatures swirling around all of you, coiling up and taking form in this place, each of them with their own glowing eyes, but these are made of scales and flesh and teeth. One of them wielding a weapon, and one of them holding in a hand bright, glowing purple orb. And as they hiss and rattle and flick their tongues out of their mouths, drawing all of your attention, That's where we're going to go to break, and we will be
Okay.
back in just a few minutes.
I
Thanks everybody for
knew
hanging
it.
out. Grab a snack, grab a drink. We're going to have some fun here in just a few minutes.
Wow.
Let's go.
All right, and we're back. Usually I like to do active initiative, but I actually want everyone to roll me initiative this time around.
What?
Just to start us off
Okay.
with.
Hell is my initiative.
I got an
Oh.
11.
Like it matters anyway. I don't really ever use it.
Nat 20 is useless in initiative. Why do I roll it?
Whoops. Whoops.
That's
I
not
forgot
what
to
I
click on my
wanted.
character sheet.
Certainly is not useless.
Let's do this. That would be more accurate. So 10. Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
On is it time yet?
I rolled a 6.
It seems right with what you just did. That makes sense to me. Love it. Okay.
Oh, this room's cool.
Yeah. And what did you get, Kronqual?
Got an 8.
Perfect. All right. So, for anybody just joining us, just coming back from break, our allies, maybe some of them are allies, maybe some of them aren't, but they've been reunited in the within the wind. And as they're reunited, they found themselves in this stone chamber. And they've had a tense conversation. Legerre, Akasha has gone to a metal statue on one end of the room with glowing red eyes. It's a statue of a snake. And looking for a way out, she reached out and she touched the statue. The eyes glow with a bright crimson light that wash over the room, and out of that light apparates two large snake humanoid figures, like the ones we've seen before, not as large as the monstrous thing that rose from Ultaruk, but much larger than the others. Each of them with glowing red eyes, one of them armed with a quiver and a large bow, one of them holding an obelisk in their hand. And it takes them a moment to appear. They begin coiling around and they begin to act aggressively, almost immediately. But they don't act first. With a natural 20 on the initiative, Merula, you see this happen and instinct kicks in and you get to act first as we enter combat.
Yes. I grab Van, presses back up to the pillar so he's well hidden, and then drop down low to the other side of it so I can peek around and bone dagger at Northern Orb friend. Right up there. That
Snake Orby.
that Akasha's nearby. Yes.
Snorb.
Okay.
So
Snorb.
So I'll hide first and then strike.
And then throw around the side of the obsidian orb. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
22.
And the figure, as this orb, no longer held between his two hands, but now floating between the two hands as he moves his hands away from each other. There's purple light energy pulsing from hand to hand as this orb sort of hovers in place. He seems, for the moment, intent on the orb, and he doesn't notice you. You're able to attack with advantage.
That's a 22 to hit.
That'll be a hit.
21 damage.
Excellent. So the dagger flies through the air, spins through the air, and it strikes him in a shoulder, right on his left shoulder. and his hand drops away from the bottom of the orb for a second, and the orb almost falls out of the air, and then his other hand scoops around and hovers below it, and the orb begins to bob back upwards again. And he turns and looks around the pillars, flicking his tongue in your general direction. You're not sure if he's seen you or not.
I use a little bit of my movement to curl back around to the southern side, just for a touch of cover, and just locked eyes with Van.
You can see Van is panting, still like sweating, still looking exhausted and kind of sick from his ordeal earlier. When you shoot him, he very shakily raises a hand to his lips, nods his head. Rysar, it's your turn.
May I say, traditionally, the center of the battlefield is never where Rysar is. But from my understanding of, from my understanding of the way and my studies of the way, and my understanding of arcane arts, do I think the orb, which is possibly obsidian or possibly just not physical at all, do I think it's some sort of focus or something that I could try and potentially mess with? Like smash?
It's definitely a focus. I think you can tell. You don't need to make a roll to know that there is magic involved. It's not just psionics.
I want to smash it. Can I try and smash it?
Yeah, if you want to do a targeted attack, then you can make a targeted attack by taking a disadvantage on the attack.
I don't want to do that. Okay, so what I am going to do onto the snorb. And I am going to focus my mind on my elven longblade using the way, and I'm going to use my psionic power of prophetic strike, which takes an action, and I'm not going to strike the orb because I've already rolled 1-0 this session, so I'm not going to attempt it with disadvantage, but I'm going to strike at the snake's big fat face or body or whatever's easiest.
You're gonna rush up to it with your long blade?
I'm gonna move gracefully with elven liveness. I'm not gonna rush. Is it close enough? It's not like a huge chamber, is it? I can get there with 30 foot.
No, each square there is 5 feet, so you have enough movement to get there.
Okay.
It's not a large chamber at all. It's a tall chamber, but not a large chamber.
Great,
Okay.
yeah, so I'm going to cast Prophetic Strike. So I need to make a melee attack as part of the spell, and I need to just roll to hit, basically.
Made my life so much harder.
Me? What? Oh, right.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to step to the side.
No, it's not even that. Just protecting you.
Oh, by the way, I did actually... Oh, 16. I did practice roll to see what the Elven Longblade does, and I got a natural 20, but that was unfortunately a practice roll. So I got 16 to hit.
All right, that's a hit.
Yeah.
Roll the damage.
So
And
that's
the
quite a
extra
lot of
damage
damage.
as well.
Yeah.
It's not bad, yeah.
I mean, quite a lot for Rysar. So I think that's 14 damage.
It should be, let's see.
Plus Prophetic
It's gonna
Strike,
be-
actually.
Yeah, so it's going to be 8 plus 3d6, so roll 3d6 there.
I'm just going to
Okay.
roll these because I have no idea how to do that one. That's a 3, a 3, and a 3. So 9.
Perfect.
17 damage. So describe your psionics. Describe how you prophetically strike and strike.
Oh yeah, okay.
hard.
So I'm using the sword as my sort of mental focus in a kind of elven kata kind of way, and I always think about the moons and the desert when I'm focusing on my special place. So I think I'm sort of visualizing the moon being the sort of target and slicing towards that, and then cutting through it into this big snake.
Its body is writhing and twisting around, making it a little harder to hit, but you've seen this moment. You wait for your moment. You focus inward. You focus on the moons. And you strike pretty deeply into its neck. You cut through some of the cloth there that's wrapped around him. He does seem to have some sort of like strange adornment, some strange linen. It doesn't seem to be made out of a material that you're familiar with. You cut fairly deeply, but you don't slay the snake.
Snob.
Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
No, I don't think so. I can't do any bonus actions or anything. No.
No, you still got about 15 feet of movement.
Yeah, I don't want to. I think as long as I'm out of sight of the other one, to be honest, you know what? I'd happily sort of edge to the side, up and right 1 square, but I don't know if the snake's taking up that whole area north of
If
the
you want to get a little bit
torch.
closer, you can.
Yeah, I'm kind of just making room if anyone else wants to get in and have some.
All right.
Yeah, and that's it. And I'll just, yeah.
So
I say, I shall protect you, citizens of Balak.
Oh, now I see why you're doing all this. Now I see
Makes
it.
sense.
I'll tell you what.
At the end of your turn, the bow-wielding snake slithers forward basically into the center of the chamber and turns southward. They take a snake that's coiled around their hands, an actual snake, and they straighten it with one long motion of their hand into a long projectile, and they draw it back on their bow, and you can see the teeth of the smaller snake opening up its maw, unhinging, and it aims southward. And then they draw a second snake and they smooth it out on their arm and they draw it back on their bow, and they fire both snakes southward towards Kronqual.
That's fine. I'll allow it.
And let's do... It's going to be...
Is this proof enough for shooting me?
a 10. And because it missed its first attack, it has advantage on its second attack.
What?
An 18.
Well, that's stuck. Okay, that hits me.
Okay.
Wait, maybe. Wait. Do I have my staff?
Do you have your staff?
I don't know. That's
It's up to you.
I guess I would have traveled with it. I guess I had it this whole time. Okay, I have my staff. Aha! But there also had something else here. I have a new thing. Oh, never mind. It's a melee attack. All right, go ahead. Do your worst.
Okay. So, 2 snakes fire out at you. He looses the bow entirely. Both of them fire. One of them grows a pair of wings, like a flying cobra, and it hovers in the air in front of you, and the first one bounces off your shell, and then the second one goes down. It gets into that soft spot between your shell and your neck, and it sinks its fangs into your neck. You're going to take 7 piercing damage and 12 poison damage. And you've got this writhing now, snapping snake still on your neck.
7 and then 12?
7 piercing and 12 poison.
Woo! I don't like that. I will reduce that.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. So it was a crap ton of damage. 7, 12. Take away 3. Okay.
All right. The other yuan-ti that you kind of you've snuggled into a corner, you can feel its large scaly tail like thumping against you. Once it sort of recovers from your blow, it attempts to whip around you and it attempts to coil you within its tail. So this is going to be an attack against Rysar.
This has happened to me before. This is deja vu. I think I'd learn with this intelligence.
25.
Well done. Surprisingly, that hit.
It's going to be 10 bludgeon damage, and you are grappled and restrained.
I thought it was 25 damage.
No, yeah, thankfully it's just 10 bludgeoning damage, but it's going to use its bonus action to, once it coils you up inside of its tail, Rysar, attempt to bite you. It snaps downward with its fangs.
Hang on. Have I got, like, is it going to have advantage, or am I going to have disadvantage, or is it just going to have to try and hit me?
No, it just gets to do this bite attack as a bonus action since it's got you restrained.
Okay,
it doesn't have advantage.
Come at me,
yeah.
Bro. This wrong.
A 13. Snort.
No. God.
Just to the right of your
learned.
cheek.
Yeah.
All right. Ebo, it's your turn.
Yes. I think I don't know who Kronqual is, but I know that Van and Merula, they're right here. So I'm going to do Witch Bolt on the one that's right in front of us. Normally I'd like to go for the one that Rysar is going against, but because we're all here, Ebo's going to Witch Bolt the one with the snake arrows. So what he's going to do is from underneath his robes, he's going to pull out like a charred splinter of a bamboo, pull out another item, which is a bone, like and I don't even remember my tibula. Brings out a tibula of some sort of creature that has giant runes on it, and he's going to stick the bamboo shard into that bone. There's like a little pocket for it to go in, and he's going to push out with that the bamboo in between here and him holding onto the stick, and push it out and cast Witch Bolt on that snake, that yuan-ti.
All right.
So I will roll to hit here, which is going to be a d20 plus 7. 23 to hit.
Yeah, that's going to be a hit.
Sweet. And then, so you're going to see the lightning come out from that little bamboo part, and it's going to be constant. I just get to hold that, and you're just going to see purple, green, and blue lightning like chains coming back and forth between me and that yuan-ti, and I'll roll a 1d12 for damage. That is 4 lightning damage that yuan-ti takes.
All right. So everyone witnesses Ebo cast this spell. You didn't use defiling magic to do so, or you didn't choose to defile additionally. But everyone,
I don't know these people.
This
I know Van and Merula, but I don't know Kronqual, so I'm not about to defile.
You all witness this sort of like continuous multicolored bolt, this magic lightning whipping around and continuing to sting the yuan-ti with the bow. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn? Do you want to move?
Do I need to keep line of sight with that creature? Being blah 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 in your turns. It doesn't say anything about. Oh, it has
No,
total
not for
cover for me. It has total cover, so it can't have total cover. I'll try and get 3/4 cover under this pillar right here.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's where I'm going to be.
Perfect.
So I'll move up there and I'll look
all
at
right.
Kronqual and just try and reassure him that we'll all get through this. I'm like,
Oh, we'll make it out of this. It's not my first time against the yuan-ti. Be careful.
Ooh, I will protect.
And he looks at you with, like, I think he looks at you and there's like a snake like writhing at its neck.
I will protect.
He tries to grab it.
It's your turn, Kronqual.
Oh, how about that? They both attacked. Both the snakes.
Yep.
Okay. Well, all right. So I guess I will.
Getting after it.
Yep.
We'll take him out. Come with me, old guy.
All right. So we will. I will. I'm gonna scoot him up. And nice. Here, I could see the snake behind.
Yeah. Partial cover because there's one of the obsidian pillars there, but it's large enough that you can see it writhing and moving. You can even see, probably you see Rysar, within its coils, twisting his head, just dodging a bite.
I will scoot here. Then, I guess the more I could see it, the better. And then I will compel to duel it. So it will have to attack me. Can I make a wisdom saving throw?
Okay. You're targeting the orb wielding.
I'm targeting the orb wielding yuan-ti in the back.
All right.
I'm planting here.
Actually, -1, so it'd be a 13.
Hold please. My save is a. I'll never get that. All right, it's a 12. All right, so you beat it. Okay. So
How is your save only a 12? Hold on. How is that possible? Give me just a second.
My intelligence, right?
Should be your intelligence plus proficiency bonus.
Oh,
what's your
that
intelligence?
makes way more sense. But why is it not automatic?
I don't know. So you're going to succeed on your compelled duel.
Sweetness. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So cool. So now it has to it has to attack me, otherwise it has disadvantage. But I think what happens is I look at it and I close my eyes for a moment and I open maybe one of them, and as I do, the eye that is open is white and murky, but we are maybe. What's their solitude? What's their fortress?
You're trying to go into their fortress, their mind fortress, right?
I want to. Yep. You've unlocked this part of the game now, and I want to go into people's mind fortresses.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, so let me ask you this: you have to have an avatar to do this. What sort of avatar do you imagine yourself as to go in?
The last turtle bender. I think I will be. What would I be? I think he's done this before. I think the avatar would be. Okay, so what? But what is the fortress? So I can notice.
It's
what I
a
guess,
large jungle. Yeah, you can see it as you connect your mind to his. You can see it.
I think I'm gonna be a bird.
Large jungle grotto.
Yeah, I will be a bird here, just because I feel like I know already that they don't like that. But I will, in this case, I'll try to be a bird. But I think there's more scales on this bird than there are feathers, because I think Kronqual just sees himself more as a scaly bird. But he tries to, maybe it's a vulture, as he tries to invade this jungle grotto with a desert bird of prey. And in that, I want to distract it and reach out a claw within the jungle to distract it to follow me. And in that, I want it to look up and see me, kind of like winking at him with my murky eye. And then that was an action, I think. Now I have bonus actions, which I can attack this guy with, or I can second wind. I'm going to do, not second wind, I'm sorry, action surge. And then I am going to actually attack this guy twice with a bite. So I guess 2 bites and an attack. So first attack is a 6 plus, so 12.
That'll be a miss.
That's another 12. Okay, that's the exact same roll. Perfect. And then I've got another bite. And that one is different. That one is going to be a 24.
That's it.
For a total of 6 piercing. As I guess
right.
like with my, I guess maybe my eye was closed that whole time and I missed twice, and then I just reach out with my, as my eyes change back to black, I reach out with my neck and try to extend and try to grab anything. And I think I'm going to try to grab, I don't know, maybe the bit of the tail. Maybe it's like slithering near me. I try to snap at that.
Yeah. You snap your mouth, your jaw onto the writhing tail as it's starting to coil up and get higher so that it can have a better downward angle for its next pair of shots, perhaps. And your other eye, now connected to this orb-wielding yuan-ti in their fortress, this jungle grotto. So you caw and you cry down and try to get it to chase you. You look down and you see what the true fortress is, not the jungle grotto itself. It's an innumerous number of humanoid bodies dressed in black robes, chanting, their bodies swaying back and forth, and they tumble down into a large dirt pit, one at a time. And you can see this creature devouring them as they fall down into its mouth, and as it devours each of them, it grows. It's growing upward. It's starting to stretch out of the pit, and then it sees you, and it snaps towards the sky, and you know that it's coming after you. That's your turn.
Cool. All right. Sorry, everybody, to narrate the crap out of it.
Oh, that's great. Akasha. So I think there's Akasha, after this blinding red light, the formation of these creatures, the summoning of these creatures, it's sort of stunning for a few seconds, and it's that sort of effect where it takes your eyes a minute to readjust to the room that you're in. And then you see 2 of these large snake-like creatures. One of them has Rysar coiled up, and one of them is face-to-face with Kronqual and has already shot a couple of arrows, starts to draw a couple of more of these snakes onto its bow. And you're there in front of the statue. What do you do?
And here I thought we were going to be friends. And I would like to cast Thunderwave at level 2.
Excellent. And where do you want to center it? Who are you targeting with this?
Well, I'm still in the center of the 2 of them. So I can't aim at both of them.
Oh, right.
Can I?
Yes. Rysar, you're going to have to make a Constitution saving throw as well.
He's like that sometimes.
It's okay, he's great at Constitution.
That's 58.
Yeah. Both of the
Now, Dom,
yuan-ti fail.
I've got 1 level of exhaustion, which gives me a disadvantage in ability checks.
Checks, but not saving throws.
Oh, okay, cool. I really don't understand the rules, but I'm pleased about that.
It's okay.
Right.
We forgive
Constitution.
you. YouTube may not.
Let's see if I get another 0. 7.
All right. So let's see.
Just checking. Spice recovery doesn't work on Constitution, does it? No.
No.
Cool, yeah.
All right, so the result of this explosion of sound is an echo of it off of the stone chambers that can be heard everywhere. This breaks the grapple between the yuan-ti and Rysar. It slams one of the yuan-ti up against the back corner of the wall. It slams Rysar up against the side of the wall. You slump back down. The one that's right in front of Kronqual is pushed forward, I will say, into the pillar next to you. Kronqual slams his head against the pillar. Rysar, you're going to take 4 thunder damage, and then they took their thunder damage as well. So you actually lucked out there, Rysar. That could have been worse.
Only 4? Okay, cool.
I think like half his hit points.
Can't win them all.
That's right. And so, Akasha, you send this sound outward, and it's very effective. You're still standing in the middle of this chamber. You have movement. You have bonus action. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
I would like to move out of the path of whichever way this yuan-ti is getting up.
Okay.
Like,
you
just
like
kinda
hiding behind a
dance off to
pillar,
the
or
side.
okay?
I'm not hiding, but I'm stepping out of the way to prepare my next attack.
Makes sense. All right. So as you gracefully, lithely step out of the way, Merula, it's your turn.
Yes. Despite it having gripped Rysar quite thoroughly, I do still think that the snake with the orb ought to be destroyed. So I'm going to tuck up to the column and whip another bone dagger at it.
Okay. And go ahead and make me another stealth roll.
I'd like to try to hide with my cunning action at the end, so they might not see me.
That makes
so I'll
sense.
probably roll with
Yep.
without advantage, but because Rysar's right there, I should still get a sneak attack if I hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Go for it.
Oh! Natural 20!
Yes. All right.
Nice.
Roll all the damage. Nice.
I will roll.
No.
I will roll damage.
A lot of damage.
Come on. All right, pretty good dice. Pretty good dice. I'm not furious with it. All right. 20. So that's 23. So not much more than that other much luckier roll. So it be.
It's still pretty good. Your dagger sticks just beneath the jaw of this creature who's still sort of struggling to pull itself back up off of the wall. And it reaches up with one hand and pulls the dagger out. Rysar, you get some nasty spray of blood right into your face as you're getting back up off the ground. The creature is very, very slow. The orb right now, it's gripping it. It's no longer floating. It's gripping it in one hand and starting to move forward, but it's very wounded.
I'm so sorry I miscounted that. That was 33. I totally mismathed. There were 10. I counted those as 5s instead of 10s.
Cool.
That changed the narrative at all?
All right.
Now
No.
I'm going to hide though.
Darn.
Even more close to being dead. And
18
then
on the hide.
18 on the hide. Perfect. And you're going back just before, like face to face with Van.
Yes, I'm trying to split the difference around that corner for as much cover as possible between both. I think I prioritize the orb because orb snake might be slightly madder at me.
Orb.
A madder
That's fair.
adder.
Nice.
Okay. That brings us back to Rysar. Rysar, it's your turn. How are you looking?
I am looking fantabulous. So I'm now going to. I've seen this moment before. Not all of my friends trying to kill me, not those moments. But this moment in the combat, because the second part of the prophetic strike kicks in, which means, because I hit on the first attack, I now have advantage on the second attack against it. And I'm going to start what I'm going to call the psionic prophecy train. And if I can, cast prophetic strike again.
Absolutely.
I don't know. You wrote the rules, Don. Am I allowed to abuse it like this first?
I mean, that's kind of, as long as you have the spell slots, that's kind of how it's designed to be used.
So how is it working with psionics? Because that's a psion spell. You said they're not part of the normal thingy things.
Spell slots?
Right.
Yeah. So how does that work?
Hold on a second.
I can't believe you're tanking this. Sort of.
Well, I hit
I
it
believe you're
once
up
and
there.
then got...
And then you got smashed.
I believe that you are very squishy and you're just right up in there. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'll fix I'll tweak the language a little bit on it later. We don't have to worry about it right now.
Cool. I could just do a normal attack with it and... Oh, but I think I was supposed to get my spell casting modifier, so intelligence, which is same for Scion, on the attack bonus last round, and I don't think I did. I got some rubbish one, but anyway, so I'm just going to hit it. I've seen this moment before. Okay. And
go for it.
I roll a 0 and a 0. No, I'm joking. I roll 8.
Those are 2 zeros.
That's with
Zero and
advantage.
zero.
It was a 1 and a 3.
Yeah. I've seen this moment before, so I don't know why I even bother.
Things just get crossed sometimes. You go in to slash it, thinking that like you have it in this moment. It is, and you miss it. It is going to use its reaction to counter with a bite. It will have disadvantage because of compelled duel.
My God.
Okay, it may miss.
Okay.
How about a 20?
Oh,
that's with disadvantage.
How about I cast shield, Don?
Okay. What's that make your
or
AC?
I die.
21.
Yeah, go. 22.
Okay, 22. Yeah, so you're able to summon your shield, which is sand, if I remember right? Isn't that how you described?
Yeah, absolutely. Sand and silt. Arcane power for deserts.
And you can see its head like twisting through the sand. You can see its teeth glint in the torchlight as it breaks through the wall briefly, and then it snaps its head back and withdraws and returns its focus onto Kronqual.
Wait.
Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Yeah, I'd like to send a psionic message using the way to my good old friend Kronqual and say, Kronqual, Akasha just attacked me. Can you keep an eye on me, please, old chum? And that's the end of my turn.
All right. At the end, or at the start of the yuan-ti's turn, it grabs that orb that's in its hand and it throws it into the air and it puts out its fingers. It spreads its fingers wide. The orb begins to hover again, and then it opens its mouth, hisses a word in an alien language, and casts a spell.
Can I try something here? This may be a little weird and breaky, but can I try something?
Sure.
Okay. Hear me out. As it throws it in the air, it fits in its hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, as it throws it in the air, and I do that thing that teleports objects up to the size of things that fit in your hand to my hand instead? As a reaction?
Is that is it a reaction or is it an action? How's it read?
Let's take a look.
I'm pretty sure it's an action. Let's see.
What is it even called? Telekinetic hand, that's the mage hand cantrip.
Object projection.
Object.
So your wild talent's an action there.
Oh, it's an action.
It's
Okay.
a wild talent.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Man, that would have been sweet. Okay.
You can't. You absolutely
Sure.
can't do that. Yeah. I saw
Once it's in
Michael
the air.
jumping.
Yes, I would like to have a reaction. And that reaction is counterspell.
Hey, there it is.
Okay. So let's get
Both
into
the old
this.
guys looked up at each other and went, now's our chance.
Yeah.
So describe. Let's get into a little bit of a counterspell battle because that's what's going to happen here. From the orb, 3 flames begin to dance off of its edge, and they float up into the air and turn into large balls of fire. And then you cast counterspell. How are you trying to counterspell this? What's this look like?
Just like last time, I'm going to try and reach really quickly into one of my robes and quickly get a bone chip and flick it up in the air. And then the bone chip is this one instead is going to disperse into like a purplish, blackish smoke. And it's going to try and go towards the flames to snuff them out.
All right. And as the black smoke flicks through the air, reaching towards the flames to snuff them, there's droplets of some sort of green liquid that form up above on the ceiling, and the snake hisses another couple of alien words. Those droplets fall towards your path, the path of the smoke, and begin to attempt to dissolve them, change their color, take control of them from you. Go ahead and let's see here.
Come on. Ebba was trying to come with all that smoke, all that Dementor smoke, and it's going to cancel that.
I always do counterspell battles as an arcane.
No,
as an
totally
arcana
fine.
Off.
I'm just being
If they're-
goofy.
Yeah, so roll me an Arcana check versus an Arcana check, and we'll see which one of you wins.
Okay. 13. Oof, you hate to see it.
A 10.
Oh, yes. All right.
So your
Hell
black
yeah.
smoke absorbs those droplets, its counterspell, and continues on. It snuffs out all 3 of the flames.
Yeah, it's just
One
going to
after
go
another.
and just like suck them out of the air.
Meanwhile, the the other yuan-ti that's smashed into the obsidian column, it whips around, and Kronqual, you're going to get an attack of opportunity against it. You can go ahead and take a melee attack if you want to spend your reaction, or you can save your reaction if you'd like.
I will save it.
Yeah, he's going to save it.
All right. It's going to position itself along the wall and then turn directly towards you, Kronqual. First of all, Kronqual, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw. You still have that other snake biting your neck.
Doesn't look good. Yep, that is a 4.
Be 5 piercing damage and 10 poison damage.
Hold on. It was 5 piercing?
And 10 poison.
What if it doesn't pierce me? If I reduce all of it... Okay, Okay, I didn't. But if I reduced all of its piercing, would it then still poison me?
Would it stop that poison? Yeah, I mean, mechanically it doesn't work like that, but I think like rule of cool, absolutely.
Okay. All right. I still I just reduced only 3 of the damage.
Okay.
That is this, and then how much poison? 10.
10.
Okay.
How's Kronqual looking?
Fine. Except for the poison, but he's fine. Other than that, if I was to put it on a scale to 58, I would say a 35 out of 58.
All right.
Scale I would put it on.
It fires twice.
Oh, what?
A 24 and a 9.
Okay, well, this for me is still on me.
Mm-hmm.
That is a. Oh, you're shooting snakes on me, so that snake bit me then, not the arrow. Is that what just happened?
The snake that's on your neck continues to bite you, and then this other snake slithers away and draws 2 more and shoots 2 at you. One's a 24 to
That's
attack,
awful.
and one's a
Okay.
9 to attack.
9 misses, 24 hits.
11 piercing damage. 13 poison damage.
Ha!
And now you have 2 snakes. This one, I think, like is on your cheek, Kronqual.
Okay, well, now I'm not. Now I'm at it about. You know what? I'm not looking good. Thank you, Don.
Absolutely, not a problem. The other yuan-ti on their turn, it does move. We'll say it's going to come right down the center, which is going to give an attack of opportunity from Rysar for sure if you want to spend your reaction, because it's going to move away from you.
I would love to, but unfortunately I spent my reaction on casting shield.
On shield, yep. All right, so it is coming towards you, Kronqual, because you have compelled it to.
I did this to myself.
It's Ebo's turn.
All right, so I would like to. I have a question before we get started here regarding my Witch Bolt. Now, I don't know how big these creatures are. I don't know if they're to scale on map or they're smaller, but if
they're large.
They're large? Okay. I don't know necessarily if it would break line of sight from me if I can see it from both sides of the pillar, even if it kind of like tries to move that way.
Yeah, I don't think it would. I think that'd be fine.
Okay, cool. So I kind of just, wherever it's looking, if it did move kind of towards the pillar, I'm going to shift the bone shard over to the other hand. You're just going to see like lightning kind of hit some of the obsidian until it connects back to it. And I can just activate the damage. So I'm just going to do 1d12 damage to it. Because after the first hit, you can just take an action to do the damage, yeah. So I'm going to do 9 lightning damage. Again, same kind of blue, black, purple, and green lightning kind of just arcs back and forth. You just see another pulse of it, like a stronger pulse, go and like burn some of its scales as I focus in on that. And I think... Oh, I have another thing I can do. Let's... Oh, wait, that's an action, right? Okay, so I don't think I have anything else. Nope, that's going to be my turn.
All right. It does stun it. This continued pulse that you send out, the secondary pulse, its head smacks for a second into the fire of the torch next to it, hisses and pulls its tongue away. Kronqual, it's your turn. You've got both of these snakes now trained on you, Kronqual, and you've got 2 smaller snakes that have been shot like arrows into you, and they're still like writhing and snapping around attached to you.
What mechanically can I do to get these snakes off of my neck?
Break a grapple. So athletics or acrobatics, either one.
I have so many choices, but all of them end with me probably falling next round. What would Kronqual do here? a lot of heroic things he would do, but he is a turtle at heart. So what I think he's going to do, I don't know if I could, I only have 11 hit points. I don't know if I could risk another shot being taken. What I'm going to do is retreat to my shell. As an action, I will pull my head and limbs into my shell for up to an hour. My movement speed is down to 5 feet, and I'm resistant to non-magical piercing, slashing, bludgeoning. I'm going to try to do that. In that, and I also maybe peel the snakes off of my neck as I pop myself in there.
Sure, yeah, make me an athletics check.
Okay.
It's a DC 14 to get one of them off, DC 18 to get both of them off.
Natural 20. Oh, you want two of them? You want one?
No, just one roll.
Either way. Okay, I rolled a natural 20 and then an 18, but
Yeah.
here the natural 20.
Yeah, and they kind of like peel away as you pull down into your shell.
Okay.
Fly the round
staff,
to the ground, and then they turn into ash.
Oh, cool. The staff falls right next to the shell, but I am now a shell. That's my turn.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Akasha, it's your turn.
So I know that I can come back out on the snake now. And I would actually like to use my elvish longbow to try and aim for the side of the neck of the yuan-ti to my left.
Are you targeting you want to target the one with the orb or the one with the bow?
I'm gonna go with the orb because he's closer to me. Or no, I want to go with the one with the bow because it's cooler. So I would like to aim at the side of the neck of this one to my right.
Go for it.
Right.
Oh no.
I'm a shell.
No?
Natural 1.
Oh no.
Me?
So, is that what you rolled?
I just rolled it in the roll 20.
In roll 20. So you got.
Yeah.
So your shot rings out. It flickers. It bounces off of the walls. It goes a little wild. It coils and just like between its body, between its tail. It's the rest of its body goes between and bounces off the walls. It almost sticks into Ebo's head, but it thunks into one of the obsidian pillars right next to Ebo. But you still have the rest of your turn. You still have movement, bonus action, whatever else you'd like to do.
I would like to move as my bonus action. I would like to get out of the way and get back behind my pillar. I'd actually like to run to the other pillar now, just to be on the safe side.
You want to like closer to Rysar?
Mm-hmm.
This romantic moment.
Boo.
Excellent. Great. Let's go back up then to the top of the round, Merula.
So the snake that's been holding the orb has moved down the center of the file, which indicates a continued capacity for movement that I would like to, remove. Yes, I think I should do that. Swip.
Whip.
Do we like a 16?
16 will hit this creature.
Ah, small mercies. Oh, good roll. All right. Let's see. 22 damage.
All right. So this is like it's coming. Kronqual is shrunk into his shell, and the shell just kind of plops on the ground and rattles a little bit. And one of the snakes is drawing another snake across its bow, like an arrow. This yuan-ti with the orb is slithering ever closer and closer to the shell, but you get there first, and you're able to end this creature however you'd like.
It's been bouncing the orb back between its hands, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So I time my bone dagger so as it passes from one hand to another, there's an opening. It passes, my dagger goes past the orb and into the creature's heart.
Wait.
And as it strikes the heart, it straightens up all the way, like some 15 feet into the air, one long body, and then falls down in a coil upon itself, clutching that dagger. And the obsidian orb in its hand strikes the ground and rolls out of its palm across the floor, coming to a stop at the corner of the obelisk, the pillar that you're closest to.
Alright, I will hide as a bonus action as close to that orb as I can. I want to try to yoink it at the soonest possible opportunity.
Absolutely.
I'm hiding first.
All right.
29.
29. Yeah.
29.
You return back around, probably to like here, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I think that's the most out of line of sight of snake, bow, snake.
Snake, bow, snake. Fantastic. All right. At the end of your turn, then it's going to be Rysar's turn.
Orb is down. Now we just need snake, bow, snake.
So with the way the squares work on this map, Don, is moving from one to another would be 5 foot. Would moving diagonally also be 5 foot, or is it calculated straight lines kind of thing?
There's a neat little tool that we can use to show here.
Oh, that's loads of speed. Yeah. I gracefully would like to engage the one with the bow with my sword. Not that it's done fantastically so far. However, my friend Kator is perhaps in a bit of shtick, so I'd like to put myself between the shell, which he likes to get in a bit too much, and the giant bow-wielding snake, and also saving, of course, Merula and this strange person who I don't know. That's what Praetors do, and I'd like to
try.
So can I do this prophetic strike thing again, or how are we working it? Or
yeah, you absolutely can.
Sweet.
He never does this in the other game.
He
runs away.
Gulag's in the other game. Are you mad? So Don, I think I'm going to roll the attack, but I believe casting prophetic strike, I get to add my intelligence rather than whatever else.
That's correct.
Is so
your dexterity is what you'd use otherwise.
Yeah, I'll roll on the elven long blade. Bam. Oh, that's a 15, not including the spell hit. So it's something like 18, I think.
Yep, it's an 18. That's a hit.
And the damage. Got a 1 on the damage.
Oh no,
but
no, it's actually.
Oh.
It's going to be a total of,
Oh no, that was a D20.
6 slashing damage, 6 plus 3d6. So roll 3d6.
That's loads. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. 6. 5. 5. That's much better than 3 3s. That's 16 from the plus 3d6. And it adds my spell damage, which you might have done already.
Yep. So it's going to be a total of 22. Rysar, How do you
Standard.
prophetically, you knew this moment was going to happen?
I knew it was going to happen. I thought it was in the other corner, but it turns out it was this corner. I mean, I literally run up the snake's body and sort of smash the bow out the way and say, "Not today." Cut the motherfucker's throat. And that's it. And then I sort of land like I'm in a manga and say, I knew that was going to happen.
Amazing.
Mic drop.
I knew it. This was going to happen.
How much
As-
psychic
as
damage do we all
combat-
take from that?
A lot. A lot.
A lot. As
And then I
combat
say-
ends, with Rysar rushing in, what do you say, Rysar?
I just want to say, Kronqual, the fight is over, my friend. Merula, are you well? Ebo, you safe?
Yes. Oh, no, I haven't been touched.
Akasha, fight's over, you can come out.
I'd like to take this opportunity to yoink the obsidian orb. Thank you.
I won't even make you roll for it. I think you got a 28, right? On your self roll.
Dang.
Something like that.
Yeah. As the two snakes are slain, just like those smaller snakes that slowly turn to ash, once they lay on the ground, their bodies are there. They're real, but they do start to turn to ash. The door creaks open. You can hear the howling of the wind outside, and it's just all of you facing each other once again. The red light in the statue's eyes dims and goes out. You still have the light of the 4 torches. You're all together.
I think Kronqual slowly comes out of the shell. His limbs start to slink out, and then his head last. And then he rolls himself up onto his belly, and then climbs up to his 2 feet. He has scratches all over him, or at least all over the soft parts of his body, and he's got like these, like a couple of wounds on his neck, multiple wounds on his neck that seem to have that black spiderwebby, veiny look you can see, but behind the scales, pockmarked with scales, but there is still like that putrid look.
Ooh, everyone all right?
And it like looks towards all of you and looks down to these bodies, and there's just poison.
Better than you.
I will protect. Sorry, I couldn't finish the fight.
It's okay, our
Ebo's
friend
good.
usually protect all of us. It's about time we could help you. Merula, it is so good to be fighting by your side again.
Yes, certainly.
Anyone got any healing balms, potions?
I do certainly, but I shall give it to Kronqual over here.
And I'm going to cast life transference from me to Kronqual. Old dudes
Excellent,
gotta
that's
stick
exactly
together.
what I was going to suggest.
What was that, Don?
So describe what this looks like, because this is defiling magic.
Oh,
is it?
I mean, it is. Yeah, it's arcane magic.
Okay.
You don't have to defile mechanically, but it is defiling magic, yeah.
Oh, sure. So, what you're going to see is, yeah, this is actually interesting. It's defiling magic. Because it's defiling magic and everything's defiled around here, isn't there like layers of ash or just ash around?
Yep.
in a sense. You're gonna see Ebo, like, I'm gonna reach down to Kronqual.
You did a good job protecting us, so least I can do.
And you're gonna see me bring a sternum, like the middle part of a person's body, like bone in their body, just that middle part of their ribs where it come together. And I'm going to, and it has runes on it. I'm going to, I guess, crush it, and then you're gonna see me inhale real deep as I can. You're gonna see ash, like defiling ash, sift into my lungs, and then I'm going to take my hand and reach out and press the middle of his chest, and you're gonna see all, like, similar to before, like where the veins in my body, they kind of, like, it looks like cuts or slits come out of it, and blood just transfers from myself up to him, like through his chest, and it kind of just seeps in there as you see me, like, exhale like the ash, but it's not as much as I took in. Like, I took way more volume of smoke that I'm exhaling as I'm pushing this over to him.
So the blood came out of your chest and then
It
crawled
came out
up?
of my arms. Like, if you
Came out of your
it's
arm
like
and
an
then
IV.
crawled up.
Yeah, it's like a direct IV, just like blood from my veins come out in like these little, like, spurts, not spurts, but like streams, and go straight into your, like, chest, and they, like, seep in.
Crazy. I'm imagining it's hitting like Kronqual's scales. It's like a horny toad. You know how they drink using their scales. It's kind of like that, where it's just like blood is just being transferred, trickling up the ridges of his scales and up to his neck. And wait,
Yep.
cool. Wow.
And roll the damage / healing.
Yes. So I'm gonna take 48, and that's gonna go over to you, I believe. That's how the spell says it. Okay. Oh, twice the damage I take on this. So 5, 11, 19, 26. So I'm going to take 26 damage, and you're going to gain 52.
Wow, I'm at full. Wow.
It's a lot.
What?
So you all witnessed this. And I just want to get, does anybody react or doing anything as Ebo obviously uses some kind of magic, and it's not a pretty looking thing what he does, but it does seem to heal Kronqual.
Wow.
Merula's keeping eyes on Rysar, gauging the ex-Praetor's reaction. Like, is he going to be cool, or is this all going to pop off and we're going to have a problem?
Be chill, bro. Be chill.
Rysar's just watching with intense curiosity. His eyes are flicking around between everyone, especially to Ebo, to Kronqual, looking at what's happening, checking what Akasha is doing, looking at Merula, looking at me.
What is Akasha doing in the moments after the skirmish is over?
I forgot I pressed the button on the microphone and not on the thing. Like, so when Akasha hears Rysar ask if anyone has the ability to heal, she just stares and leans back because she's not wasting her energy. Even as Legerre, she just doesn't feel like it.
I mean, Rysar was not looking at Akasha when he said that.
Like daggers still. Yeah. So
Not getting healed by anyone either.
In the moments after the healing, with the howling of the wind outside, Merula, Van sits up pushing himself up against the pillar, the obelisk, and he reaches out a hand towards your wrist and he says, Merula, I feel it again. It's coming again.
You're alright. You're alright. It's okay. You're fine. I just brush my hands over his hair, wipe the sweat away. You're alright. It's alright.
You can see there's a sharp pain, and you feel a sickness too in the pit of your stomach. It's something that Ebo would feel and Rysar would feel as well. This shifting, this weight, and the howling of the wind outside gets louder. And Van shakes his head. He looks to Rysar around the corner of the pillar and then back to you, Merula, and he says, I don't think there's time. I think we're going.
I'm right here. I'm right here with you. You're not going anywhere. I'm not coming with you. I'm right here. I just look at him. I don't want him to be scared.
He calms down. You can feel his body relax a little bit, and he lets his arms fold around you. And Rysar, you notice it first. The two of them, Van and Merula, starting to turn to ash, starting to blow away. They're not gone yet. You see your own hand, your fingers starting to turn to ash, starting to blow away. You can see the colors of the flickering torches in this chamber are gray now. And without making you roll, I'll say that the defiling magic that happened here over the past few minutes, if this was a place of light, the lands within the wind, a place that hadn't been touched entirely by defiling, it is now.
Oof. My bad.
What's going on?
Do we all see this happening? They're turning to ash?
You can see Merula and Van turn to ash, starting to. You can see Rysar, his hand starting to turn to ash.
Oh, no. Mm.
Ooh. Ooh. And he starts to panic a little bit.
Where are you going?
As you say those words, Kronqual, anybody looking at Kronqual would see, starting with his jaws, starting with his turtle-like maw, ash backwards towards his face. It's actually a choking sound that escapes your mouth. You can't speak. You're changing, you're moving, Kronqual. Then, Ebo and Akasha, you start to fade too. The room around you is fading, turning back into the plane, becoming one with the rest of the plane, the gray. And in the last few moments of our session, my only question is, while we're all together, is there anything anyone calls out? Is there anything anyone does?
Yeah, can I try and... I can see Kronqual trying to speak and the words amounting to nothing. So Rysar will try to reach into his mind one last time and broadcast a telepathic message to everyone in the room, which he is usually able to do. And he says, "It was a pleasure knowing all of you, even though some misunderstood me. Ebo, you tried. This is not your fault."
I am going to do the... I also have the ability to communicate through telepathy. So I'm going to also just say to Rysar, as it seems that we're going to be teleported or to be vanishing here.
You must explain yourself next time you see me. Of the friction between.
And then it's probably going to like fade away, but I'm essentially just saying the friction between Akasha and Merula. Like essentially like, I saved you folks today, but next time explain yourself. Because I'm probably not going to be so kind.
I think Kronqual may broadcast to everyone or to Rysar to relay it. I think that's probably what happens is you reach out to him and he, I think in a panic, grasps onto it with his mind and then broadcasts back to you, Rysar, hoping that you will broadcast. But he says,
I did not kill Caesar. I miss my family.
I think even though Rysar knows Kronqual wants that broadcast, first he'll take the moment to respond to him and say, I know my friend, and if they know you, they know too. I fear this is our end, however. And Rysar kneels down. Elves, although they have a long lifespan, often do not live out that lifespan in Dark Sun. So he takes a knee, awaits his fate as he believes it.
Just as an add-on, Ebo looks super comfortable in this moment. This is like his 4th time nearing death. So he just seems very comfortable and just letting this wash over him. Like maybe it's another transition. I don't know, but this is kind of his zone.
Merula?
Merula holding Van, making sure that he doesn't panic in these last moments, snapped their eyes to Kronqual when he seemed to be panicking, lest he panic Van by extension. So their eyes are locked as Merula disintegrates and may not finish saying, I forgive you.
And Akasha, you watch the others turn to ash. You're turning last. Legerre, you know how this place works. You know that you're leaving it. What does Legerre look like in these final moments in this chamber?
She looks from one speck of dust to the next speck of dust to the next speck of dust. And she watches all of these tears and emotional outcries that serve absolutely no purpose. And she throws her hair behind her shoulders, puts her hands behind her head, just says, pathetic, and disintegrates.
And that is how we will end our session tonight. Excellent.
Nice.
Dust in the wind. Yes, thank you all so much for hanging out tonight. This is a ton of fun. It was great to have the first season of Rise of the Veiled Alliance, the original crew back together, and to throw in Ebo. Michael, great job tonight. Loved getting you in the mix too. That was a ton of fun, everybody. So thank you all. Thanks everybody for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave us a comment. Let us know what you like. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. If you're enjoying the show, let us know what parts you're enjoying. It means a lot to us, but we're glad that you're spending your time here. You could be doing it anywhere, and we get to share a story with you. So thank you. Let's go around very quickly and say goodbye to some friends. Let us know who you are, where you are, and anything else you want us to know about you. And we'll go in opposite order this time. Let's start with Christina.
Hello, my name is Christina. I'm floating. My name is Christina Ariel, and I am on the internet a lot, and you can find me there. You go to my Twitter or Instagram, you can usually see what I've got going on. I love playing Legerre, and she just doesn't care. It's great. Get it? Legerre. She doesn't care. Has great hair. Is Akasha in there? Who knows? Never know. Very excited about this whole turn of events. It was great seeing Rysar, not, but seeing Toby was fantastic. So getting to play with Toby and Ford was incredible. Felt like the gang was all together again. Yeah. Find me on the internet, Christina Ariel, KRYSTINA ARIELLE. Thank you, Dawn, for your hard work.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed the mirror scene with Akasha. That was a random. I randomly rolled that trinket as something you could find and buy, and you found it and you bought it, and now it's a whole thing. So I'm excited to explore that. Liked seeing Legerre have a full, pretty much a full episode of Legerre. I think it's the most we've ever gotten of her so far in this campaign. That was super cool. Let's go down to Cord. Hello, how are you doing, friend?
Hi. Oh, that was really, really cool. Yes, I saw the battle map before, but I still had no idea what was going to happen or how we got there. So it was really, really, really awesome. Thank you for having me a part of this. Thank you for role-playing with me, everybody. It was great role-playing with you, Michael. I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed how... And I kind of knew that would happen, too, how Kronqual and Ebo would have this, camaraderie of,
hey, we'll just get through together, and we're two old guys in the thick of it.
It was really awesome.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. I really liked the fact that the orb was thrown in the air, and we were both like, hold on, we got stuff to do here, which was super cool. I just, in my own headcanon, they both looked at each other, went, and then I had that comedic moment of we should both do something here. But that was great. Thank you very much. I was surprised that me going into the show would work, but it's just sometimes you got to trust your turtle instincts and do that. I was like, I could spend my action trying to take that orb from that thing. I don't know what that's going to do. I could attack them, but either way, I'll just die next round if I do that. I'm really happy I was able to just turtle up. But either way, thank you very much for having me and all that stuff. Find me on the Twitters at Mythematic, MYTHEMATIC. You can see what I'm doing. I've got some things I'm writing for D&D soon. And when this comes out, maybe I've already posted. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited. And it's unofficial stuff. It's just me stuff. I'm talking a lot, and that's enough. Anyway, thank you. Bye. That's all I got.
It's great to I get to play with you. I get to play with you a lot, Cord, and of course, you do the production for all the Veiled Alliance campaigns. You're killing it all the time. But it was fun to get to DM for you again. Always love playing with Kronqual. So thank you very much. Let's go down to Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hi, this was such a treat. I love all of these players, and thank you so much, Dom, for putting us all back together again with all of the trouble and tension that it inspires. I really loved seeing Ebo meet everybody, though. That might have been my favorite part, having a character who could be the lens through which we all just go, what is up with those four? Seriously. We didn't accomplish all our objectives. That's okay. I'm sure there will be future crossovers. We'll get there. I have confidence. I also have a lot of stuff I'm doing across the internet. I am a role-playing and a video game streamer throughout the Twitchernet. My full schedule is on my personal Twitch page, twitch.tv/Delevely, DELEVELY. For everything else, including me mostly retweeting people who have better words than I do, you can check my Twitter at Tchaikovsky right up there.
Yay. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't intend for Van to follow you through the plane, but you rolled really, really well, and I was like, this is it now. You held on. I thought that was cool. Yeah. And great snake slaying as always. I think you might now be ahead of Orso. You might have horse in terms of total kill count for the campaign.
Not that I'm competitive, but if I
Sure.
were, I would be the best at it.
Best at being competitive.
Michael, it was like everybody else said, it was a treat to have you play today and get to play with this group. And like Sam said, having Ebo as a lens for the rest of the characters and their weird kind of tension, like why are these people together? Why, like, what is going on here? I thought was very, very cool. You rolled like crazy tonight and you did some awesome stuff. I really enjoyed it. So thank you for being here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, fantastic session. Got to finally play a game with Cord, and then meet Toby. Heard all these great things about Toby, but I also heard terrible things about Rysar and kind of Toby, just a little bit, just for a character. That's good. And then, but yeah, it was fun playing with them. The interactions between like me defiling, like I don't think lots of people have seen me. The whole gang hasn't, at least the people here. So. At least not like up front, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, all the interactions and like that little this zone, this ashy zone is super interesting. And yeah, the camaraderie between dang it, I want to say Core, but that's not the Nick Kronqual and Ebo was a good like two old dudes back to back, just trying to take on the world there for a second. So yeah, but that was all super fun. So
cool. Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Yeah, sure. I was waiting for the segue, but Michael Kritz. My name's Michael Sinclair. You can find me Michael Kritz everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. On Twitch, I play a variety of things now: Baldur's Gate, Magic the Gathering, World of Warcraft. I think my good rolls came from just practicing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. So just heads up to you folks out there, if you practice a whole bunch of Baldur's Gate, you'll just roll fantastic. That's just how this all works. Yeah.
That's just science.
Yeah, exactly. And me and Christina are in Into the Motherlands on Sundays, so check that out. Super great, awesome, all BIPOC crew cast, writers, just all that flavor, all that seasoning, everything that you would want to see in like a really awesome TTRPG. It's there, and we got it. So check that out.
Yes. In all the love to all the amazing projects, everybody here gets to do a lot of cool things. And if you are out there on the internet looking for more good stories, good games, good people in your life, please follow everybody here and all the projects that they're up to. Speaking of which, last but not least, Toby, it was fun to get to play with you again, get to DM for you again. How are you doing?
Yeah, I just want to address all of these scandalous rumors and allegations. What is it? What's been happening? Anyway, it was very, very nice for me to be able to play with not only the other players, because I have missed you all absolutely 100%, but also as you DMing. Again, Don, I love your storytelling style and the way you run things. And that insight check, I said it in the private chat while we were playing, but that insight check, the way you played that, they're both just being able to ask certain questions was brilliant. I was really hoping like he'd ask me about like, oh, what does Rysar think about this? It's like, well, but yeah, it's really fun, really enjoyable. Let me give a shout out to Chris Hislop, because they're not here, and Adventurers Wanted, because I said to Chris, who DMs Tales from the Silt Expanse, Chris, now you're here, I've got nothing to shout out about, because I always shout out about you and Adventurers Wanted, so there's a little shout out for them. And yeah, shout out to all of you. I'd also want to shout out about the, I don't usually watch streams myself. I love playing, but I don't usually watch. But I'll shout out about the Cthulhu game that you're in, Don, because I was obsessed with it. I just started watching and I couldn't stop it. So yeah, it was lovely playing with you all. Nice to meet you, Michael. And yeah, can't wait for more. Surprise, surprise! Akasha tried to kill Rysar.
like a trying to murder Rysar would have looked.
Just a casual thunderwave over here. Yeah, just kind of in that direction.
It's like a slap in the face, really.
Yeah.
I
Happened
love
before, though,
all the
hasn't it?
tension.
Next time.
I love that the characters got to see each other again. We will have more interaction between the campaigns as this game goes on at some point in the future, but this was fun. Loved getting to show the lands within the wind. Dark Sun is large and versatile, has a ton of cool ideas, and this season with both shows, we get to explore some different kinds of places and see a lot of different kinds of ideas. Some of the things that I think makes Dark Sun a really distinct and unique sort of setting. And I love it. And that's why I love playing this game and running this game with these people. So thank you all very much. Once again, I'm Donathan Fry. You can follow me if you want. I write games. I run games. I have a bunch of cool stuff coming out. Just follow me on Twitter. If you want to, you'll find out everything I'm doing. Otherwise, as we leave here tonight, we will be back next week, same time, with a continuation of our story. And we will see what the results of the 2 crossover episodes will have on both campaigns. But in the meantime, thank you for being here. And everybody, please, please, please take care of yourselves and have a great night. Bye-bye.